What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Joining with me today is somebody else who also makes music in my shed. Retired SoundCloud rapper who has now become a Spotify rapper, James Pres Washington.
It's true. I rap on Spotify.
Yeah.
I used to be on SoundCloud, but
yeah,
SoundCloud's kind of these days.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on genre because Connor's been telling me. I've been mentioning Connor a lot these last few podcast episodes. Shout out Connor.
We love you, Connor. Come back.
Just on my mind, I guess, but like he's telling me that like EDM is having a resurgence, like is like SoundCloud's having like a resurgence with like the EDM community, like people are being discovered on there and things like that.
All right.
And I think a few other communities too. They're like kind of bringing people back. So
I might have to retire. I might have to be a retired SoundCloud rapper turned Spotify rapper that retired and then became a SoundCloud rapper again.
Yeah, and then you came out of SoundCloud retirement just to go back. Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, no, that might be the vibe. That might be the move.
I'm retiring Spotify.
So today, we're going to be talking about the production of the second track on my EP, my 2022 EP. Are We There Yet? What is that track called, Prez? What song are we talking about today?
We're talking about one of my personal favorites, To Her.
Sheesh. You know, this dude loves the song. He really does love the song.
I do. So much.
Like, ever since I showed it to him the first time, he was like begging me to
Well, I mean, come on, you gotta say something. The people are listening.
He was begging me to make an extended version.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
Yeah, it's not here.
Dang.
It's just not here.
I'll have to ask you about it next episode.
This is the retracted version. Well, this is just the version that's out there. There's no other. This is it. This is the song. Yeah, this is the song, bro. So let's give it a real quick listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silence is so hard to find. Fight with the what ifs and unknowns that swallow my mind at night. Still learning how to flirt with the girls once again. While you're probably under the sheets with your brand new boyfriend again. I don't miss you, I just miss how I used to feel. Before I learned what was love and how yours wasn't real. I don't miss you, I just miss who I thought that you were. But maybe she's out there one day. I'll matter to her, to her, to her.
Sheesh. Yeah, so you can see with the project file that I have pulled up here, the production is very simple. There's not a lot of elements going on. And I also have the stems, like how last episode for When I Met You Dear, or 2 episodes ago, I was talking about like that I exported the stems. Stems are just easier to show you guys. So here are the stems. And you can see as with the stems being exported, it's really not too many layers. Obviously, like in the actual project file, there's like automations and things like that going on. But
Yeah.
for the most part, this is it. This is what we got. I got a question for you.
I got an answer.
What do you think about the production? How do you feel about the production of this song?
Dude, it feels great. And it accent, like the way that you perform the song vocally and like how subtle the instrumentation is, like I think it really complements it very well.
Yeah.
And like it feels it's like feels soft.
Yeah,
I like that.
Right. Yeah, that's the goal. So let's get straight into the production of the song. We'll start off with like the biggest thing right here, which is the guitar. And what I got going on right here, the static. So at the beginning of the song, there's like a static, like kind of going on. And they're two different separate elements. You have the static and you have the guitar, but the guitar itself is like cut up in a little bit of a way so that like the static fits in between. You'll hear what I'm talking about when I play it, but. And then, when you have the static right here as well, all the little cuts in between is where like the guitar and the static would flip flop between each other. So then combined, it sounds like this. And yeah, so at the beginning of that guitar as well, you can hear there's a filter on the guitar. So it's like starts off like with the highs not as apparent, right? And then after that, what happens is like as well as like there's that pitch bend that kind of goes into the guitar, and I feel like it's just this very mellow, like winding up, right? It's a winding up sound. It's like usually when you're winding things up, it's kind of like hard to move it. It's kind of like you're like pushing against like trying to wind something up. And so it's like I feel like just having that combined sound is just like it adds to that this sound of the song. So going back to the guitar, I want to let it play a little bit so you can hear like the filter, then going into like just the main part. But have a listen. Yeah, so now we have just the clean guitar. And I think the chords chosen for the guitar as well is just like, it reminds me of like almost like a video game RPG medieval video game where you would be like in a plaza of a town. And I don't know why, but that's what it reminds me of. And yeah, so I think it's just like it's a great sound. It's a great sound.
Yeah.
So on top of that too, the other main thing that's going out the entire song is like this string kind of what's the word? Harrowing.
Don't know.
Harrowing sound, like a very like it's like a ghostly sound, So if you give it a little listen, it's a string. It's like a strings like from FL Studios like Flex plugin, strings with a slide and just hella reverb, right? And I think maybe some slight distortion. And that just repeats throughout the entire, song, every few bars, but, combining it together. And again, I think, and this is just me analyzing it right now. It's not like I thought about this before when I was making it, but I think listening to it, with this like harrowing, ghostly sound on top of the guitar, like it really adds to the idea of the song, where it's like you're reminiscing on somebody from before, and like kind of feeling a loss and stuff like that. And so like just having that ghostly sound, I think it fits with what the song's about, and again, like I said, I didn't plan that, but like just listening back and breaking it down, I think that's why all of it works together so well.
Yeah.
And so on top of that, we have this electric guitar that plays the exact same guitar chords, except it's on electric guitar just to emphasize, certain parts of the song. And so, there's some reverb on there as well to give it some space and ambience. And then we got some modulation going on too. So it's like kind of wavy. And so there's that, and you layer that on top of everything else. And so that again goes out to like a lot of the song, but where we really start to get into like I don't miss you part, right? We have a piano that comes in right here, and this piano, I think, just on its own, like listening to the stems, like the piano on its own, very nice tone. I think the piano that I chose from Keyscape, which I love Keyscape. Keyscape is a great plugin when you're trying to get keyboard sounds. So producers out there, I highly recommend getting Keyscape. if you can. There's a lot of very organic, really nice, rich organic piano sounds in there that are recorded from actual pianos, and so that combined with I use Valhalla Shimmer, which is a reverb plugin, to get like this. I don't know if I use the shimmer feature of it, but it definitely added a lot more space, and so you hear with the piano, it's very wide, and sad. And there's that consistent no going through it the entire time. And yeah, so those are the last chords right there. Obviously, like the guitar plays the exact same chords as the piano does, but when it gets to those last chords with like the dun dun, like and you kind of like step down into the first chord again, like and it repeats. Like for whatever reason, I feel like it hits harder on the piano. Like I feel like it just dun dun really like steps down into that.
Yeah, dude, this is gas. Yeah, like. Yeah, no, all of this. I really like this song.
Thank you, man.
I really like this song.
Would you say you love this song?
I would say that. I would say that with a capital L, 100%.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And so to build on top of the piano, we have another element. This is the bass that I made using Serum, and yeah, like it's a sub bass, right? So it's a consistent, like more sub frequency. There is a little bit of it's either distortion or like I use like a different type of wave on top of a sine wave to make like a little more of a grittier sound. But it just lays underneath the chords and everything like that, so that we build up to something, to the end of the song, you know. And so most of the song does not have bass until it comes to like the end right here. You call this like a re-space if you want to get technical. And so that's just consistent. And in a minute you'll hear this kind of like slide going up, and it's really dope, I think. Now re-spaces typically are used more in like EDM music, at least in my mind. Like you don't really hear re-spaces in slower songs, like a bass, especially like a heavier bass like this is definitely not a slow song type of thing. But I got inspiration from this other song called City. First, I can never remember the artist name because it's like letters, right? It's like an acronym for something, I think. But it's like CMYK or something like that, right? Okay. Like something along those lines of that. But that song like is like piano driven with like an element like this in the chorus where it's like a bass with like a grittier re-sound with like a slides going on. And I remember when I first heard that song, I was like, whoa, this is weird. But I was like, this is so cool though. Like it has such a unique sound. Yeah. And so this was when I wrote this song, it was around the time when I found that song, and like just how my songwriting process goes, like whatever I'm listening to tends to be the inspiration driving. That's why with 2 Steps Behind, when we were talking about it, like, John's song like inspired 2 Steps Behind. Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of artists work, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like this song definitely like, pulled inspiration from that. And what's funny is that, sometimes on Spotify for artists, like if you don't know this, us artists can see what playlists or we can see the playlists that our songs are on. If those playlists give the song a certain amount of streams. Besides that, then we can't see it. But like a lot of times, if you guys put our songs on your playlist, we'll see them. They'll pop up depending on how many streams you give the song on the playlist. It'll pop up. And so I've snooped around. I've stalked some people. Like I've gotten curious and see what the playlists are and what other songs people got on there. And there was one playlist that had To Her on it that I was looking through that had that City song that I was talking about. Wow. And so like, there's definitely like, people that, I mean, not saying that they draw a connection, but like you can tell it has like a similar vibe, you know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. And so, yeah. So combining that all together, with the piano and everything, then you have like the instrumental that gives you this. Yep. And so there's that. And so moving on to the vocals. Vocals are very simple. I did not add like any harmony, like barely any harmonies, right? So the first like half of the song is just one take, no harmonies, right?
Right with the what ifs and unknowns that swallow my mind at night, still learning how to.
And so typically when I do my whole vocal mixing process, like I'll manually pitch correct vocals. However, with this song, I didn't do manual pitch correction. I actually used something called M Auto Pitch, which is like an auto tune plugin where it like automatically pitches for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I did that is because sometimes with pitch correction, manual pitch correction, there's certain like inflections that can can artifact really harshly where it sounds very weird, right? And like just not natural.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to like, at least for the manual pitch correction use, the plugin I use called Newtone, which comes with FL Studio. Sometimes that'll happen, and so I'll have to either re-record or like just not use it or whatever.
Right.
And so there was some problems, but like the thing is like the tone of my voice, like in the certain inflections I did not want to lose any of that because it was like so I mean, I'm a fan of my voice, but I feel like a lot of times my voice isn't like the greatest sounding, I feel like it could be better. But this song, I feel like really showcased it a lot, you know? And so I didn't want to lose any of like the uniqueness of like how I sang stuff. Bro, what the heck? The bass started playing.
It's kind of scary, low key.
Right, yeah. But yeah, so and also too, like the way that I sang it pretty accurate, like in terms of pitch. Like it was a really good take. And so I used the M Auto Pitch plugin and it sounded great, and I was like, all right, I'm using this. I'm keeping it this way. I think this is the only song that I've ever like released that has like uses autotune rather than manual pitch correction.
Bro sang his little heart out on this, man.
For real. Yep. And so the only place that we have some sort of harmonies going on is like the I guess if you want to call it the chorus, and I'm singing in falsetto, and then there's just layers underneath it of me singing down the octave, but
I just miss how I used to feel.
to just fill it out more.
Yeah.
Before I learned what was love and how yours wasn't real.
And yeah, so there's that. And last but not least, good old producer tag.
Most important part.
Most important part. It's not an Adriel Rivera song unless you got a producer tag.
It's true.
And so there's the song. There's the production of it. Very, very short production. It's like it's a very simple song, and it's a very short song as well, but it's a good song.
It really is.
And so there's that. And yeah, so again, I don't know if we like had already mentioned this or not, but like in today's episode, but like this song got shoot, I lost my train of thought. I was like thinking of something else. So this song is the most streamed song off the EP, and I was expecting this to just be the deep cut because that's what it was. This was not its own single for one, and two, this wasn't like a long song or anything like that. Like, this just was not a standalone song in my opinion, and so it was always intended to just come out on the EP like as like an interlude type of vibe, and like eventually it just started getting traction on discovery mode, and while everything else had like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 streams, to her had like 5K. And after discovery mode, it grew to like now it has like over 200,000 streams. It's the most streamed song on the EP,
Insane.
Yeah, and that was never like expected at all. And so it's super cool because it's like, it's a song that I genuinely like enjoy and I'm proud of. And so for it to become more enjoyed, than any other song on the EP.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling, definitely is.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like this started happening before you were doing like consistent content and everything. So this is just like this is just off the strength of this being a great song. Like,
basically, yeah.
This is where you got with it.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is pretty dope. I'm very happy about that. But yeah, music marketing, it's crazy.
I'm curious about how is live performing this song? Do you enjoy performing the song live?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I did perform this live a few times. I will say, like, this song, well, I mean, yeah, I do like playing this song live because, one, I can actually play it on guitar, so it's, like, easier to play live.
Yeah.
But, like, also, too, like, it's like the falsetto, it's weird. Performing live is such, like, a skill you need to learn.
Yeah.
It's, like, because, you can have great songs, do great, studio sessions, be a great songwriter, be a great producer, things like that. But live performing is its own beast that you need to build skill for as well.
Yeah.
I have not built enough live performance skill, and I would love to build more. But then at the same time, like we were just talking about, I'm doing so much content now. So it's like, finding the time is like, it's like if you and I think like we've had this conversation before, live performing is its own world. It's like people build fan bases through live performances, like in like being in the local scene and stuff like that. Like that is a great way to build a dedicated audience. However, it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to do that, to become a good performer, to build the audience, to reach out to the venues, to book you, like because most of the time you're going to be your own booking agent at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of work, and that's why I say it's its own world, because it's like the people that do it really do it,
Yeah.
And I'm not that person,
right?
Like, I mean, I do want to do shows and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna be the type of person to like constantly be seeking out shows and doing them unless it's like I already have an established audience that wants to come out to them.
Yeah.
I would rather build my brand in a different direction, which is the content thing, you
Right.
know, and like the whole, like with my email list and growing the email list and, building like my whole sales channels and things like that. That's how I want to build my brand and my business and stuff like that. Does live performances fall into that? For sure. But eventually, that's like a later down the line, thing, which
Yeah.
it also is its own disadvantage, because then when you like, without the practice, like I'm not gonna get. If I do it now, like I'm gonna have more practice, and by the time it's time to do shows for other people, or for like not for other people, but for like my audience that's growing, it's like it would be better because I would have had the practice. But going back to the whole first question in the first place,
Hey man, you might have got the practice, but then you wouldn't have had the size fan base that you wanted, maybe, or like because you wouldn't have had the time to do the marketing,
right?
whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's just lower on the priorities list for you. Like you'd rather do content and then performances, and for some people it's the other way around.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And some people make content out of their performances. It's like there's like all sorts of ways to go about it. But for me, I'm going a different direction. But back to the first thing though, live performing this song, going to that falsetto is harder live. Like, I mean, right now, like singing at home, singing the song, I could get pretty accurate in the pitches and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, performing live, you got the nerves, you got like all the energy there, everything, like, moving around. Live performance is a whole beast that like will throw off all your pitch perception. I think I'm hitting the notes and I listen back and I'm like, damn, what the hell? Like I suck.
It'd be like that, bro.
For real. But it's like, no. So I mean, for the most part, it's fun to perform live, and I like performing the song live. I like performing live in general, but I definitely need more work on it for sure. But I'm glad that we did do our show, because for you guys that don't know, we did a show back in October 2023
Yep.
FWB release event. We have merch for that too, which is cool. It was fun. But I've had people, the fans that did come out for that, which was fun, which was so cool. That because that was the first time we ever hosted anything and fans did come out. It was awesome. I got to meet them. But I ended up getting an email from one of them, which again, another reason why I have my email list so that I can have contact with you guys. Because yes, I do get your emails when you reply back to my emails, and I will reply to you. And so this guy, he reached out and saying how it was one of the best nights that he experienced. You know, he had a great time, and like it was an unforgettable experience for him, and that made me really happy.
Yeah,
you know, because like over here, you know, I'm like my biggest critic and like thinking like, oh, I probably could have done like, you know, I mean, I did as best as I could. I laid it all out in the field,
right.
But like, you know, like I know like that with practice stuff, it could have been better. But I did it. I made it as good as I possibly could have, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's just to hear somebody say that, like, that was one of their favorite shows to have gone to. That made me really happy to hear, you know? And so it was great. It was great.
What a time, man.
What a time. Yeah.
What a time. Yeah, I think I really like when when somebody's performing the song and it sounds extremely close to the like the studio recorded version.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like specifically because you can go up there and play the guitar, and it just brings a whole different vibe and like a different connection and authenticity and rawness to like the performance, and I love that.
Yeah. I would love to be able to play live with a band and like have a band, because then you can like really make it a live experience that only you can experience if you go to, you know, the show. John Bellion, I've mentioned John Bellion multiple times, but I went to see him on tour when he was doing his GSP tour, Glory Sound Prep. And so when I saw him live, best concert I've ever gone to, still best concert. Like, I mean, I've seen other people and some people have been really good, but John Bellion blew it out of the water. And maybe I'm biased because I love John Bellion.
Yeah.
But like, you know, though, like his songs were not like the studio version, you know, so sometimes it was a little hard to sing along with him when he would sing it. But I think it also just added to the experience, because it's like, since he's playing with the band, he's doing things that like are different than what you heard from like the album. It's like it makes it its own thing that you had to be there for, you know? And so, yeah, I would love to be able to kind of incorporate that in the future when it's time to be able to do that. But yeah, it's dope. It's dope. How about you? You got any plans for doing more shows?
So like I was thinking about it, and like I just need to be better about having my priorities straight, because like I'm like, yeah, I want to do shows, but and then kind of like how we were talking about is I was thinking, okay, what's the intent behind me doing shows? And I basically, like when I really thought about it, it boiled down to it's fun and it looks cool.
Yeah.
And I want other people that do shows to recognize me doing shows
and think that you're cool
and think that I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so I was like, Tegan, that's stupid. So I'm obviously, like you said, like definitely gonna perform live. Definitely enjoyed it. Want to do it again. But I'm not planning on making it like a core part of my business
audience growth. Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Right. Like shows is more so like just as much as like you don't make merchandise to grow an audience. You make merchandise to, I guess, monetize the audience. Like, not trying to sound like, you know, weird about it or anything like that, but it's like you when you make merch, you plan on selling it.
Yeah.
You know, and like shows, even though they can be an asset to bring fans in, like you will benefit more financially by doing a show with the intent of it selling out and then making, you know, money from the merchandise sales, like the performance of it, all that, you know. And so it's like at this point in our careers, we'd be losing money doing shows.
Yeah.
You know,
losing
time and money doing shows.
Yeah, and like the ceiling is so different, because like doing shows is, you know, you have a really good show, and then at the next one, let's say, even if all of those people bring in one friend each, like still with like one video on TikTok, you could gain all of that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's not the same connection, and I get that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the ability to reach so many people from our bedroom by posting a video. it's like you got to tap into that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's not to like, knock on anybody that's doing shows like that, is like trying to build an audience that way, because there's people like that. Like I know people that's their main gig is just doing shows and they get paid for it.
Yeah.
But again, like you start off somewhere where you're not making any money from it, and then you have to work towards it to make the money from it.
Yeah.
And in our case, it's just like, it's not worth the effort when we're already doing this other thing that like a dog chasing 2 rabbits isn't going to catch either one.
Sheesh.
It's like if we were to try to do both at the same time, both of them are going to stall. So it's like, might as well focus on one. And if we're already doing the content, might as well keep doing the content. And then when it's time to monetize the audience that we've grown, do shows.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I mean, shoot, like I still hope to pop out at a show this year,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like,
but yeah,
yeah, and definitely for sure, if like opportunity for like, preparing for like something like a festival where like a lot of people are going to be there and I could be exposed to an audience.
Yeah,
dude, like I would love to do it. Yeah, for sure. But like, as of right now, I'm just planning for making content, growing my content, growing my email list, building a connection to my fans through my email list, building connection to my fans to my fans through social media, through this podcast. So it's like that's the plan.
Yeah.
And so we'll see what happens when we get there. I would love to do a show. I'd love to do a tour.
Hey, I'll see you there, man.
Yeah, I'll see you there. Hey, were you trying to say like refer to the project, or was it just sheesh, bro knows me so well. But yeah, so if you guys like my music, I release a new song every month on the 25th. I think at this point a lot of people probably know, but just in case you didn't, a new song comes out every month on the 25th. And if you want early access to those latest releases before anybody else hears them, feel free to join my mailing list down below, like I've been mentioning. And again, like I said, it's a direct contact to me. It's not just like, for promotion and stuff like that. I do send out emails to, just talk to you guys, and then vice versa, you talk back. So I'd love to, keep in contact. So feel free to join the list down below. What time is it?
I can't read it. What is this? What is this?
Quote of the week time.
Let's do it, man.
All right, my quote is from somebody that I've quoted multiple times, that you've quoted now in the podcast as well. Good old Alex Hormozy. He's got some good quotes. Whenever you're in a pinch and you need a quote real quick for the podcast, bring and go to Alex Hormozy.
Yep.
So Alex Hormozy has said, "All progress starts with pain." This actually, what we were talking about with shows, like exactly applies to that. It's like, yeah, like you can make money from shows, but you're gonna go through the pain of having to play shows without really making much at first, without an audience that's gonna show up every time you do a show. You got to build all that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the content.
I was just about to say so much pain.
Yeah, spending hours and hours of putting out content to only get a few 100 views, like even less than that sometimes. It's a lot of pain. But hey, we're seeing the benefits with YouTube Shorts. Shorts is kind of coming through for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shorts. What's your quote?
Shout out Shorts. My quote comes from me, but I heard me say it the other day, and I was
like, I need to quote this.
Yeah, it's hard. It's from my song "Sleep Well," where I said, "I really was something, but thought I was nothing, and now I'm back thinking I'm everything." And like, this was at a period in my life where, like, I really thought that I was that guy. Yeah. Especially in music. I was like, dude, like I'm making these raps, the rapidy rap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thought I was doing good. And it was like, I was doing cool. Wasn't all that. But these days, bro, I'm back to thinking I'm all that, man. I'm back to thinking I'm all that. Making the best songs of my life, and it feels great.
Yeah. But this time, like, you're actually making the best songs of your life.
This time I genuinely believe the songs are good. Back then I thought they were good.
Yeah. But like now you believe they're good.
Yeah. Now I believe it.
You're not just thinking like they're good now.
They're good.
Yeah.
I think, right?
No. I mean, I'm vibing with the songs that are coming out. Flowers. If you guys haven't listened to Flowers,
Flowers.
Yeah.
Love that song.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, nah, you're doing great, man, and I'm proud of you. And I'm glad you're back on it, because there's a moment in time where you weren't on it. Bro said he was a rapper, but he really was a capper.
That's so true, dude. That's so true. Like, even if I was making songs occasionally, like, bro, if you're not releasing, are you really Are you really doing it?
Are you really doing it? But now you're releasing, so you're really doing it.
Now I'm releasing, so
and really you're doing content, so it's like you're actually doing it now.
I'm seriously doing it.
Yeah,
as much as I can.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you, dude. I'm proud of you, and thank you for helping me get to this place.
And thank you for leaving a review on the podcast. Cheers. That was a good. You're welcome, by the way. That was a good transition.
Yeah,
right?
no, it was good. That was good, bro.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoyed the podcast, don't touch your feet like he just touched
Bro, what? I don't know what he's talking about.
We were like so smooth on there, and then you just had to tap my toe with your toe. Like that was about to have the cleanest intro I've ever done on this podcast. And
outro.
Our outro. Yes.
I didn't do it intentionally. Okay, it was an accident. I'm sorry.
5 stars if you guys like the podcast, please.
We're accepting nothing less than 5 for the podcast, right. Please. Thank you.
4.9, no, it's max. 5 is minimum you will be able to do. Thank you so much for watching. I'm awesome. He's mid, and I make music in my shed. See you later, alligators.